I'm James May.
And I'm Oz Clark.
And together we've embarked on a very British summer break. We're enjoying a caravanning holiday. God, I never thought I'd say that on the telly. You can sleep down there and you can put all your silk pants and your pink dressing gown and everything else you hold dear.
Our mission is to identify the drink that speaks for modern Britain, which unfortunately means we have to try rather a lot of it.
So if you're thinking this looks a bit like a thinly disguised drinking holiday, you may have a point.
We're nearly halfway through our 3,000-mile expedition. So far on our selfless quest to identify the drink that speaks for modern Britain, we've travelled through the north of England on the search for the perfect pint.
I think it smells quite beery.
And put ourselves in peril, trying Scotch whisky in the Highlands and Islands.
2 teaspoonfuls you go blind, and 3 your heart stops. Would you like to take that chance?
Yes.
And then this happened.
Oh dear. Oh, how we wept with glee as we abandoned the rancid one-wheeled microbrewery and continued on our way without it. Whilst it's being repaired, we're heading over the Irish Sea to...
Now, strictly speaking, Ireland isn't part of modern Britain, but for the purposes of our research, it is, because we simply have to try its drink and its pubs. Ireland, like Scotland, is famous for its whisky, but as whisky brings James face to face with the black dog of despair, I thought we'd explore Irish beer instead.
Now that's annoying, because I can only think of one Irish beer, and I don't like it. Along with leprechauns and shamrocks and those stupid green hats, it symbolises a kind of cod Irishness that springs up everywhere, even in Tokyo. Or Reykjavik.
Don't worry, we're starting our trip at a proper Irish pub in Temple Bar, Dublin, with a proper Irish pint. So what was that like?
Well, I asked for 2 pints, that's all I said, and we got 2 pints of Guinness.
Yep, that's how it is. Basically,
well, is it though?
Well, yes, of course it is, James. You walk into a pub in Ireland, you say 2 pints, they'll give you stout.
They say what? You say
2 pints.
No, you don't say 2 pints. Because you're not Irish. You live in London. You would say 2 pints.
I said 2 pints, James.
You didn't. You said 2 points.
I said you walk into a pub and you say 2 pints.
What you became then is Irish, which is not the same as Irish. Ireland, the real Ireland, which I'm not an expert on, but I've been here maybe a dozen times or so, is a very interesting place. But it's represented all over the world with this cod Irishness, and I'm Irish, and it's the crack. And it isn't the crack. What I mean is you go to a pub and you have a conversation. You do that all over the world. When did you ever see that? It doesn't happen. It's a myth.
Half the pubs in Ireland most nights, James.
But you don't.
I've spent evenings like that with my cousins in all kinds of places in the south of Ireland doing exactly that.
What? You're not from Ireland.
I am from Ireland, James. I am Irish.
You are not.
I am Irish.
You're not. We'll leave that particular argument for now, because this programme is about to be blighted by a public broadcasting hot potato.
There's one drink that defines Ireland as a nation.
Let me think what it is.
Tell me.
It's Guinness.
Well done, James, well done. Well, I'm going to take it to the Guinness Brewery, which has been there since 1759.
We do have a slight problem with that. Actually, we should explain this, because on the BBC we have this thing we have to be careful of called undue prominence. That's it, isn't it? So because we're not a commercial television station, we're not allowed to be seen to be placing too much emphasis on a particular brand, which will be a problem with Guinness because it's everywhere in Ireland. So we can't keep saying Guinness.
No, we won't say it then.
Well, we can't not say it.
I know what we'll say. I know. €5 each time you mention Guinness.
All right. No, I like that.
And it starts now. If you say
that word,
€5.
Okay.
Got it. Let's go.
The brewery, beginning with G, is one of the most famous buildings in Dublin and has been here for over 250 years. But shoeless local urchin Ozzo Flaherty is unable to find it. Do you actually know the way? Because this doesn't feel like brewery sort of territory to me.
But I just got it wrong. It's all right.
I think it's down there. You were right originally, and it's up that hill. Can't, because that...
Well, come on this way then.
Is this all part of the crack?
If you think you know the way, James, you show us the way.
I can't know any worse. That's not a brewery. Maybe it was built after his time. Eventually, we find ourselves here. Now we're lost, and we've ended up underneath the famous Dublin brewery that makes the stout, with the creamy head on the top, and we've also found this rather fabulous tunnel, which we suspect is from the 19th century. And I have here Oz Clarke from the television, who is an expert on stout, its history and its relationship with another famous drink, which is porter, I believe. And his challenge is to explain it all to me, and indeed you, the viewers, within the length of this tunnel, which is, I would guess, 130 yards?
OK. A couple of hundred years ago, most beers in Britain and Ireland were dark. They were called porter. Stout is a stronger version of porter, i.e. the stout porter is the stronger version of the porter. OK, tax was levied on malted barley, not on unmalted barley. So what the Irish guys realised was if they used some unmalted barley, they could make more profit, sell things more easily. So what they did is they roasted barley, made it really like coffee beans, which made a fantastically black beer, much blacker than typical porter. That's how stout became fantastically famous. So famous, in fact, that during the 19th century, this brewery here was the largest brewery in Europe. And by 1914, this brewery here was the largest brewery in the world. Now, the First World War, very important. Lloyd George in England said you can't roast barley and roast malts because it's taking too much energy, or it's making bombs and Gatling guns and all that kind of stuff. So he didn't want to say that to the Irish, because the Irish were in a state of rebellion all the time. So while in England the idea of dark beers went out of fashion, in Ireland they got stronger and stronger and stronger, to the extent that in the Second World War the idea of stout was a bitter dark beer made in Ireland.
Excellent. Well done. I have to pick you up on one historical point, though.
What?
Which is that the energy that Lloyd George wanted to conserve was not actually being used to make the Gatling gun. By then it would have been the Maxim gun, or the Vickers Maxim as it became, and eventually just known as the Vickers. So Irish stout is very dark because it uses a lot of roasted barley rather than merely malted barley. Is that a beer fact?
Well, yes, it's a beer fact, but I've got about another 11 beer facts to tell you.
Well, you knew how long the tunnel was. I mean, I don't
Every day, this brewery sends out over 4 million pints of the beer that dare not speak its name. But they're also building another brewery outside Dublin.
Which means this one can concentrate on what it does best, being an Irish theme park. I quite like the way they've done this, because they've mixed new stuff in an old building, which I approve of. If they tried to make it look all old with wax dummies of Paddy McGinty and his fermentation, it would have been...
The trouble is...
You just said trouble is in an Irish accent.
I did not say...
Did.
I did not...
The trouble is...
Shut up.
You did that as well.
Where are we going? Here?
In the lift, I think. I like this, but look at this glass lift going up through all the floors. I think that's really pretty good, the way they've done it.
I know. Yes,
Well, hey,
yes, it is.
We're in space.
I like this. No, I do like this.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Now here's a modern, funky bar. Fantastic.
So,
Later on there'll be a man with a fiddle and a little drum. And
let's hope there is. To upset you.
should we have a pint?
Well, let's have
We're supposed to meet this bloke. Where is he?
I don't know.
What does he look like?
We're here to meet the company brewmaster, Fergal Murray.
Oh, I expect he'll be in the corner doing a jig in a big funny hat.
Are you a brewer?
I'm the master brewer, yes.
James, this is a master brewer.
You are a brewer?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's excellent, because I'm a brewer as well. I do small scale, but...
It always starts that way.
I have to be brutally honest with you as well. I'm not a big stout fan. I just want to get that out of the way so that it doesn't cause embarrassment later.
Well, we can help you with that, because there's a technique in how to actually allow the liquid to enter into your palate so you can sort of energize those taste buds. So we'll take you through that.
Is that blarney?
No, I can prove it, yeah.
Go on then, what do I do?
Well, you have to drink through the head. You're not allowed to drink the head. So to allow you to drink through the head, you've got to stand in a position, right? So look out to the horizon, elbow up, tilt the glass, and pull the liquid through the head. And at the moment, you should be energizing all those sensory receptors. The sweetness should be happening at the front, the roastiness at the side, and the bitterness at the back, exploding with flavor.
You may have a point, but only a very small one.
But I always thought, drinking this stout, that you drank, this gave you that creaminess in the mouth, and gradually as you went down the glass, you ended up with no head left.
No, you can't. Drinking the head, it's too bitter. There's bitterness is in the head. So you don't want to drink the head, you want to drink the liquid.
The idea that putting your elbow there makes a difference is blarney.
No, because it helps tilt, really stepping out.
Slightly forward.
But you're really a bit proud, you know. I'm using...
The boys stood on the burning deck, you know that?
Yes.
Recite it.
That woman over there's laughing at me. She thinks I look like an idiot. That's why Irish drinkers are always unconscious. They've all been elbowed in the face. Anyway, the famous six-stage pour. Glass, angle, pour, settle, top up, shamrock, the crack.
Very good.
There you are, madam. Have that one on me.
Thank you.
Pleasure. The whole bit about drawing the shamrock or the portrait of W.B. Yeats on the top of the phone, is that what would happen in a normal working man's pub in Ireland, or is it a bit of a thing for American tourists and fatheads from England?
It's a fun element to the whole thing, and we don't dissuade it. If a customer comes in and says, give me a pint with a shamrock on the top, a great bartender wants to do that, it's fine. A normal pint-serving bartender will just serve it as is.
But does it slightly annoy you that the image of the famous drink that is particularly the Stout of Dublin and all its association is rather bound up outside of Ireland with this Irish thing? That means English people, such as Oz Clarke, who really have never been anywhere near Ireland, will walk into a pub having spent all day speaking in the Queen's English and go, I'd like a pint of Guinness.
That's another €5.
Right, so that's €1.
Just because you're trying to be smart and funny.
I'd like a pint of Irish Stout, please. You know, Irish, doesn't it? Isn't it almost slightly insulting to Ireland, the real Ireland?
You may take it that way, but we don't. But we enjoy the festivity of a communion in a pub, and if somebody wants to pour it with a funny way on doing it, we forget about that. That's beyond the point. The point is like going in to have a social drink with my friends and enjoy myself. That's why the Irish sort of get on well with everybody around the world, because we don't take things too seriously. We enjoy our life and enjoy great beer.
Well, there you have it, and you heard it here first. Irishmen enjoy beer.
Next morning we hit the road again. Now there's obviously more to Ireland than Dublin, and more to Irish beer than Guinness.
€5.
And more to Irish beer than Stout. There's a new breed of brewers making their mark here, and who'd have believed it? One successful microbrewery is based near my ancestral home, Graiganna Manor, a mere 75 miles away.
Oz claims it's his family home, but he's suspiciously vague when it comes to directions. Where are we?
Dublin.
Yes. Where are we going? Which way do I go? Do you know where we're going?
That is the Liffey.
There's no option but to plug in the sat-nav.
After 300 yards, bear left.
You know what you can do with that, actually, which might amuse you? If you touch the screen and go into the sort of setup thing, change voice, so press change voice, and you can change it, I think, to an Irish person.
After 800 yards, turn left,
there you
then turn right.
Anyway, feel free to change it into Mandarin.
Okay, tell you what, I will try these and you must tell me what they are.
Okay.
Después de 300 metros, ha llegado a su destino.
Metros is Spanish.
Spanish, well done.
Yeah.
What about this one?
Μετά από 300 μέτρα, φτάσατε στον προορισμό σας.
Greek.
Well done.
Yeah.
Intelligence, James, I can't bear this. Now, you like this one?
700 yards, ieșiți, apoi
That was obscene.
Ieșiți, apoi în sens operatoriu și ieșiți în dreapta la a doua ieșire. După 200 de yards, intrați în sens operatoriu și ieșiți în dreapta la a doua ieșire.
What language is that?
That's Romanian. I think it's Romanian.
That's fantastic. Everybody in the nation, turn your sat-nav to Romanian. To right.
După 100 de yards, intrați în sens operatoriu și ieșiți în stânga la prima ieșire.
I'm going to have to stop.
Intrați în sensul giratoriu și ieșiți în stânga la prima ieșire.
Please don't say it again, it's going to kill me. 70 exhausting miles later, we're finally nearing our destination.
Graiganna Manor to the right here.
Oh, do I go down there?
Well, you can if you want.
We came here to find out about Irish beer, but this is rapidly turning into Oz Clarke's Who Do You Think You Are?
Uncle Mickey's bakery was my grandfather's bakery, but Uncle Mickey ran it. That's just up there on the left there.
Uncle Mickey?
Uncle Mickey, yeah, up there. Now, just up there. That's Uncle Jimmy's creamery was up there. And my mum was born here. O'Leary's General Stores.
So that was
Right.
your mother's maiden name, O'Leary?
Yeah. You see the big house in the
Yes.
trees? That's Auntie Nessie's place. That was the, sort of the grand house. In the old days, when I used to ring Auntie Nessie, her number was Graignum at 1, and I would ring up and I'd ring and I'd say hello, and someone would say hello, and I'd say
1.
Shut up.
It's not true, is it?
Shut up. I'd ring up and I'd say, hello, is that Auntie Nessie? And the lady in the post office would say, no, it's not Auntie Nessie. Auntie Nessie's round at Molly's, but I'll put you through to her.
Molly Murphy's.
Yes, Molly Murphy's.
It's rubbish, isn't it?
It's not.
You're not from
rubbish.
Ireland, are you?
Shut
You've
up.
made it up.
Auntie
It's
Nessie-
based on postcards.
Stop it.
Just when I'm expecting Oswald claim that Mr. and Mrs. O'Swan are his relations, he stopped in his tracks by, would you believe it, someone who actually knows him.
What are you doing here?
Sure, I'm just hanging out, you know. I'm down for the weekend. Hello.
You tell this creature, this cretinous English person who you are. Are you
I'm
related
his cousin. I'm one of his many cousins.
You're not
I'm
Molly
Olivia.
Murphy. Oh, you're
I'm not
Olivia.
Molly Murphy. I'm Olivia.
to me? She's the one I climbed Mount Leinster with, and we used to stand at the top of Mount Leinster looking out over the whole of Ireland at dawn.
How long ago was this?
We're talking 38 years. Robbie, we are talking 38 years.
Robbie?
Robbie, his name is Robbie.
His name's Oz.
Robin. Robin is his name. Now, have I revealed a terrible secret? I have.
Since when was your name Robin?
Robert.
She calls me Robbie.
I call him Robbie,
Actually,
yeah.
nearly everyone else does as well, except you lot.
Oh, so,
In my other life,
hang on a minute. So just make it clear first. None of this has been faked for television. We were genuinely walking through the village, and this delightful
Are you
lady,
filming
Olivia,
this?
yes, really did emerge from the walkway by the river, and is quite clearly a relation of some sort to Oz Clarke. I need to ask you a very important question, and please think before you answer it. Is Robbie, a.k.a. Oswald O'Clarke, Irish?
He's half Irish.
Oh, bloody Nora, I'm going to the pub.
He's half Irish. Is your dad
You
was
can't
Welsh, wasn't
be
he?
half Irish.
She's a butler, remember? I rang.
So you're doing a food and wine thing here, are you?
Yeah, we're doing Oz and James. They're drunken stagger around
that's
Britain.
James, whatever his name is.
That's James, whatever his name is.
Oh, he seemed very nice.
That's a family tree fact. There are people around here willing Smashing. to admit Thank to you.
Mm-hmm.
being related to Oz. Or should I say Robin? I might have to concede that Oz is a bit more Irish than I thought. I thought he was one of these phony Greater London Irishmen who just puts it on so that they can claim to be more interesting than the rest of us.
How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you.
I'm just not quite sure what he is. He'd have made a fantastic con man in the 1930s. That's if he wasn't one, of course.
What about that then?
Hello, Bigora.
Hello there, sir. What about that now? Are you prepared to accept that this is my family town?
All right. I will admit I was wrong. Part of you is Irish.
Good.
But I have to say, actually, I'm quite pleased anyway, because that little interlude allowed me to make an important discovery.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what it is?
That you're very bad at darts.
Apart from that, I'm not very good at darts. I found a proper Irish pub.
Oh,
This is a proper Irish pub. It's like a pub, but it's in Ireland. And I had a pint of Guinness. Pint of
€5.
And he didn't put a shamrock on the top, which is only done, he said, for American tourists.
Well, that's all. I'm delighted you've had a pint in my local. I have a challenge for you.
Maybe I have to reinvent myself as James Murphy in the time it takes Oz to pour a pint of Guinness stuff.
No, this is a scientific experiment. Before we taste some of the local brews, I want to try something. I would like you to be the person in charge of the Irish Beer Challenge. And his head is the battleground.
Okay,
No cutting, though.
no cutting.
You can much washing as you like.
There's an old wives' tale that says if you rinse your hair in beer, it will look lustrous, glossy, and full of body. But which beer is best for the job? Traditional Irish stout or a modern lager?
Now, you ready for this?
Yeah.
It's going to be cold.
That's all right. Oh! Clemens O'Reilly. The left half of my head is rinsed with freezing cold lager, while the right will be doused with a pint of the black stuff. The smell of it's making me want to go to the pub, actually. It's a bit like when you hear sitar music on the radio, you immediately want a curry, you know. Well, that was a frightful waste of perfectly good beer. But at least Oz's experiment hasn't left me looking stupid.
I must ring up my friends in the theatre. See if there's a role as Widow Twanky available in the Christmas pantomime.
Yeah, I like it. Don't worry, viewers. I'll have my revenge. Help! Oz, it's getting ever so hot in here.
So, without further ado, here are the results of the first Irish Beer Rinse Challenge.
Oz, just touch it.
I am applying my professional expertise to your head,
You don't have any
James.
professional expertise in hair. You don't even have any hair.
I would say that, without any shadow of doubt, looking for the way that the light falls on it, I still prefer the stout. It tastes better, it looks better, it feels better.
Listen, I'm bearing all this with good humour, but you haven't seen what I've got lined up for you tomorrow. Which provides the more effective enema, Scotch or Irish whiskey?
You're gonna love it. After the big beer challenge, it's time to try some. I'm keen to show James why real Irish pubs are at the heart of their community. This one is also a hardware shop and a grocery store. The thing about a pub in Ireland is it can be a shop as well, it can be a lawyer if you want to, you can have a pub or whatever. The whole point about the pub is a centre for people to do loads of different things as well as have a drink. That's why pubs are so successful in Ireland.
Just the place to stock up on caravan holiday essentials. You got any M3 nuts and bolts?
While James buys some things I've never heard of, I meet up with local brewers Seamus O'Hara, his wife Kay, and Liam Hanlon. Their Carlo Brewing Company has won international awards for this stout, but how can a small brewery compete with the multinationals? Is it hard to break people's entrenched loyalty to one product down?
You know, for the Irish consumer now, they are beginning to realise that there is a choice out there, be it from travelling abroad themselves or whatever, and they're seeing that there's different beers available in other countries, and they see the range that's available. And I think people are beginning to realise that there's a lot more to beer, you know, than the mainstream brands. People are becoming more educated about beers now.
Shepherd's Crook.
So is there anywhere we can go to find a whole array of beers from around Ireland?
The place that springs to mind would be the Bull and Castle.
Where's that?
In Dublin.
The Bull and
Castle.
Got it.
Yeah.
Seamus's recommendation will take us to the Bull and Castle tomorrow. But for now, we can relax and listen to the band. So here it is, James, the band that, what was it you said, doesn't actually exist in real pubs.
Oh yeah, but you do get them in hardware shops. It's been great learning where Robin came from, and I admire the pluck of the local brewers. But if you'll just turn that stupid music off, I'll tell you why I think they're fighting a battle they can't win. I worry that the beers that we like, proper brown beer, I think they might be doomed. They stem from a time when this group of islands was very, very industrial, when people did big, sweaty toil in, you know, foundries and building railways and tilling the land by hand and all that sort of thing. And you needed a drink that was alcoholic, so that you forgot the misery of your life, but which you could drink in great volume before you got really clattered, so that it would actually slake your big, greasy industrial thirst.
And beer food.
And beer food as well, yes, because the food would have been miserable then. But now that we don't live like that anymore, I can't quite see, there isn't the culture in place to persuade that sort of drinking.
I hope I can prove you wrong. In fact, I'll do it now, because we're going to be getting together with the men and women who are the future of Irish brewing. We've asked them to meet us at the Bull and Castle, thank you, and to bring samples of their own beers with them for us to judge.
Hello and welcome to Strictly Come Drinking.
Tonight we're in the fair city of Dublin in Ireland.
Yes, or even Ireland. And our contestants tonight are all Irish and they are all craft brewers.
We've asked them to bring a sample of their beer and to tell us in 15 seconds why
their beer is a real Irish pint.
We'll award them points for their points
and points for their blarney.
Okay, my name is Neil and this is my wheat beer. It's based on a Belgian wheat beer, but it has traditional Irish ingredients such as coriander and lemongrass and chamomile.
It's an Irish red ale, a style that is second only to stout in synonymity with Ireland. It's got malt in it, it's got flake barley, roasted barley to give it that red tinge, and it's called red diesel. You can't get any more Irish than London diesel.
On the Blarnometer, it's quite high.
This is a nice light Irish summer beer, brewed with amber malt and Cascade hops for a refreshing taste. Be perfect with a barbecue, and it's brewed by an Irish girl in Ireland.
I like the beer a lot.
Yep. My beer is Irish because it combines the best of both worlds of stout and coffee. It's the ideal morning drink. It looks like coffee, it tastes like coffee, it smells like coffee. Perfect.
Alcohol plus caffeine.
Tasting it.
It's excellent.
It's an Irish beer because it's 9%, so it gets the job done.
You have another 3 seconds, sir. Would you like them? He doesn't want them.
God.
I'm Rossa. I brewed a robust Irish porter with a mint chocolate twist, so you'll never have to worry about fresh breath when chatting to the ladies at the bar. It's a pale ale made in North Dublin from 100% Irish water. It's loaded with Galena hops and with Centennial hops. It's gorgeous. Drink it.
With marks awarded for taste and blarney, it's time for the results. Much as it pains us, we have to come up with the top 3. So in third place, in Strictly Come Drinking, is Red Diesel. Step forward, please. I'm afraid there's no prize.
Your respect and esteem is all I want.
Art is its own reward. Beer is its own reward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Second place, despite a name which comes from 13,000 miles away, nowhere near the Wicklow Mountains, Krakatoa.
Excellent blarney, we thought.
Yep. Excellent blarney. Excellent.
Thank
you very much.
But in first place,
the man with the pink head.
The man with the pink head, who makes Centennial Ale. Thank you very much, sir, and congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
I'm sure it will do your reputation a world of bad. As a concluding piece to this film, what is the conclusion of this film, Oscar?
It's the crack.
There you go, spoken by a true Irishman. You are such a fraud.
You are such a cynic. I take you to my country. You misbehave all the time. You abuse and insult the locals. You disregard my family, who are spread over this whole country.
You live in a posh house in West London.
Shut up.
You're not Irish. You're not. You're
Shut
about
up.
as Irish as my arse, and that came from Bristol. Cut.